What's up, everybody? Ghost Bros Gaming, Steven here, back at you with a special edition Market Watch today. We're going to be talking about Manadomes. So, Manadomes are the synchro archetype for the Vsauce Starfrost lore that just got announced in the OCG. So, we're going to talk about a few cards, whether you should pick them up now, whether you should wait. So, let's get right into it. First up, we're going to talk about Vsauce Starfrost himself. So if you watched our Market Watch video from about a week and a half ago, we were saying buy Vsauce Starfrost at $7. He's a good buy at $7. If you watched that video, if you bought your Vsauce Starfrost, congratulations, you've just caked up already on that. If you haven't, the question becomes, should you buy it at this $17 price point? I think there's a couple of questions we have to answer to figure out if Vsauce is a good buy at $17. So one is, will Manadome be meta relevant? I think the answer is yes. Konami seems to be really making these Vsauce Starfrost lore sort of like the new Albaz. I think from what I've seen so far, the deck definitely has the pieces to be able to succeed at least as a tier 1 deck, sort of a contending deck. So I think if the deck is meta relevant, that is a good indicator for the price point of Vsauce Starfrost. If it is meta relevant, I'd say look for a price point between $30 and $40 pre-reprint. So that brings me to the second question. Will a structure deck reprint happen, and what will happen to the price of Vsauce Starfrost if he gets reprinted in a structure deck? So I think the answer to the structure deck reprint question is yes. Konami is not going to wait. If Vsauce Starfrost goes up to like $30, Konami is not going to wait until the Megatins to reprint this card. Again, it only has one printing from Dimension Force. I don't think they're going to wait that long. I think Vsauce will absolutely get the structure deck reprint the same way that Fallen of Albaz did. However, if we look at Fallen of Albaz's price point for the original print, we notice that it actually held a pretty good price point back when Branded was being played a lot, around $25 to $30, and so that's after that reprint happened. So you can see, like, ultimately, I think even if the structure deck reprint happens, the original print secret rare Vsauce will still hold a pretty good value between $20 and $30. So I think if you're looking to play Manadomes, $17 is probably still a pretty safe price point. I don't think you're going to cake up like the $7 people did, but I think $17 is a safe price point to get a playset that will hold at least that value for the foreseeable future. Moving into some synchros, so I've been watching some of the combo videos for the early goings of Manadome, some things that people are theorizing, and there are a few synchros that are pretty heavily played in those videos. So Stardust Charge Warrior is one. He lets you draw a card. He's just a really nice extender in any synchro deck, really. So I think he's a good pickup. These are both hideous golds, but take your pick between them. They're both pretty cheap. I'd probably go for the Infinite Gold, but that is up to you. Looking at Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, this is also a card that is getting played a lot in the early goings of Manadome testing. Personally, I think both of these secret rares are actually a really good pickup. We know that original print secret rares hold their value really well, and the price chart looks kind of scary in the near term, but actually if you zoom out, this card is actually the cheapest that it's been in quite some time. So I think that the original print Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is actually a pretty good pickup right now at this price point. If it gets up to 10 or 15, maybe, you know, wait for the hype to die down a little bit. But I think that $10 or $15 is a pretty good price target for this card. Scarlight. Everybody loves a time card. I mean, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, you're going to be going into time. It's basically a certainty. If you don't have a time card, you are asking to take free L's. So I think everybody has to have a time card, and it's even better if it can be in your extra deck and easily made by your deck, because then you don't have to rely on drawing it. So Scarlight could be that card in Manadomes. We know they make level 8s really easily. So again, this is more speculation. I don't know if this will be the time card of choice for Manadomes, but you know, just a card to consider picking up as well. Again, I think the secret rare is good value. Obviously for Scarlight, there's a couple of higher rarity prints, so these will hold their value the best over time. We know that the high rarity stuff always does. However, you really can't go wrong with like $2 or $3 for a secret rare. So if you're looking to pick up the more budget option but still have a really nice looking card, I think these are some good options. So a little bit more speculative of a pick is Trias Hierarchica. So Nick and I were talking about this morning. He has a few synergies. We haven't really explored it fully in actual testing, but basically what the idea is, you normal summon Diviner of the Herald, and you can send this guy to the graveyard where, with a quick effect, you can tribute up to 3 fairy monsters and special summon him from the graveyard. So if you tribute the Diviner, then you can special summon a level 2 fairy from your deck, which is a Manadome card. So this is potentially a way to get to a Manadome card. Additionally, the Manadome monsters kind of like really recur themselves and put free bodies on board. So potentially you could be tributing 2 fairies, 3 fairies, and so you could potentially get all these effects pretty easily with this guy. Now the Manadome cards would not proc their effects because they are not destroyed. They would be tributed in this case. However, this I think has some potential. Again, this is very speculative, but the price point is 17 cents. So I picked up 20 copies this morning of the ultra rare because why not? It is literally 17 cents. It cost me $3. I would say at least YOLO it on a few of these just because it's basically free, and it could end up being kind of a cool tech in the deck. Last up is Scareclaw. So in a lot of the early testing that we're looking at for Manadomes, everyone is playing Scareclaw, so there's a bunch of synergy with Manadomes in that Manadomes rely on Vsauce, and Scareclaw is a really nice bridge to Vsauce and works well with Vsauce. So the Scareclaw field spell, which is searchable off of Lightheart, lets you get a Vsauce to your hand. Arrival lets you get a free body on board. Reichard is a nice level 4 body for your level 2 tuners, so I think there's a lot of synergies here. Scareclaws are still quite cheap. I think they're all good pickups right now. If there ends up being multiple waves of support for Manadomes, you could see the Scareclaw cards get phased out in some later waves of support as there's more like in archetype Manadome stuff come out. Again, that's speculative. However, in the early going, I think the Scareclaw build looks really, really good. So the cards you're going to want to pick up for that are Reichard, Lightheart, Arrival, as well as the field spell. So that's all we have for you today. Hope you all enjoyed this market watch. Hopefully it's helpful. Feel free to comment if you think any of these are terrible picks, if you think they're good picks, if you picked up your Vsauce at $7. Congratulations. So yeah, that's what we got for y'all today. I'll see you in the next one.